Hey, listeners. My name is Elisha, the founder of the Witnesses podcast. It's so beautiful to have you listening to our podcast. And I want you to know something that means a whole lot to me. Thank you for tuning in. And one thing I love to tell all of our listeners is it's not just about you listening, but listening to understand. Understanding is the most important thing. So important. So, you have to listen, learn, and practice. Thank you so very much and happy listening. Hi, Daniel. It's nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, that's so good. Oftentimes I love to talk about the essence of this show, which is to invite amazing guests like Daniel to come talk to us about their triumphant stories because we believe that in our audience, there might be someone who is stuck up in a situation that Daniel came out of triumphantly. So, for that reason, by listening to Daniel, that person or people can actually experience transformation. That's how I believe. So, within the next few minutes, Daniel, I want us to begin with your story, the challenges that you faced, and how you overcome them. Then afterwards, I've got some questions for you. Okay, Daniel, let's get
All
started.
right. Okay. So, my name is Daniel Spencer. I'm a power lineman by trade, and I do mindset, lifestyle coaching. That's based off of strict fitness and nutrition routine. My Instagram page is Reps and Double Time, and that's where I come in contact with most of people that are struggling with lots of things that I overcome. Uh, I used to be obese. I used to be almost 300 pounds. I would drink everything. I'm an alcoholic. It's going to be 13 years sober next month. And a lot of that, I used to blame it on, childhood traumas. My parents divorced when I was a teenager. But then, kind of after actually digging deep and finding a therapist that helped me work through it, yeah, we have troubles and traumas, but ultimately, as we get older, we have the choice to either continue in those habits or change them. Regardless of what happened to us in the past, once we face those problems and those traumas head on, we're going to be stuck in the same position. I started drinking as a teenager in high school. You know, um, Before that, I started smoking weed um, at around 12 years old. And that's right around the time, my parents split up and there was nobody at the house. And I just did it maybe out of boredom, you know, maybe seeking attention. I would act out in class and it just caught up with me, over time, consistently drinking, not having a healthy diet. I got to be almost 300 pounds. And at that time, I had suffered an electrocution. I suffered a pretty serious work accident and I didn't handle that well. I didn't handle it with talking about it, right? Talking about my fears from having to go back to work. And what I did was, I just pushed it down. I pushed the pain down. I kept pushing, but I tried to seek solace in alcohol, which took a toll on my family, my marriage. And one night I had a realization after um, a very, very irresponsible act. I drove drunk, which wasn't the first time, you know. Um, but it was the first time that I had this actualization, this realization that if I continue in these habits, um, I'm putting other people's lives on the line. Um, I'm putting my career on the line, my family's way of life. So I knew I needed to make a change, and I made some phone calls and I opened up finally. And the next day, I checked myself into a substance abuse program um, because I couldn't do it on my own. I've tried before, and I stayed sober for about 3 or 4 months. But then, making an excuse to fall back into that habit is what started me drinking again. And once I finally checked myself into the program, and sought professional help, is when I really was able to stick to it, and that was almost 13 years ago. Um, like I said, I was almost 300 pounds. I had no control over my habits, my food. I had no control over my life. And, you know, stopping drinking, quitting um, alcohol, and becoming sober was the first grasp that I really started to gain control over things, over my behavior. And, it kind of gave me a little bit more clarity. I was able to be at home in the moment with my family. And that's when I really started to realize that the negative impact that I was having, what I was creating, um, I didn't want my kids to grow up and only know dad as that way, right? Only know dad as, a sloppy drunk who passes out early, or, you know, doesn't take care of himself, eats whatever he wants. I didn't want them to see me as unhealthy. So then my wife and I started joining the gym, because the habits that I was partaking in, of course, they're going to affect your family, right? What we do is what they do. And I was trying to look further down the line, um, on what our life would look like if I didn't start losing weight, start creating healthier eating habits. So my wife and I joined a gym, and I was able to lose, altogether, from my heaviest to my lightest, 140 pounds. I started
mm, mm. Oh, yeah. True. Mm. Yeah, yeah. That's so true. That's so true, Daniel. Wow. You know, you've literally answered all of the questions that I'm about to ask you. And that's so good. Okay. So, but I've got two questions here. Okay. And they're very important. So he got to get answers from you. Okay. So, let's begin with what is the hardest part of being married? You got that? Mm, that's so good. That's so good. You answered that so well. Okay. The last question. All right. Let us talk a bit about the obstacles. So, Daniel, what was your or the biggest obstacles? You got it? What's your biggest obstacles? Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. Mm, mm. Wow. That's really, really touching. And I'm so glad that even though they doubted you, you're still moving and you keep moving. That's so good. Okay, so in conclusion, Daniel, what would you like to say to anyone who is addicted to alcohol and he or she does not even have a goal or plan, or he or she doesn't even see himself or herself getting a beautiful future due to the situation he or she is? So in conclusion, what would your advice be to such person? And also, let's say such person wants to reach out to you, how would that be possible? So let's get started. Mm, that's so true. That's so correct. Thank you so very much, Daniel. You've been such a great blessing to me, and I'm so sure the audience too by the time they'll be listening to this. You know, I love to say the truth, and the truth is your words are so filled with insight that I found them so educative, and that's so good. Okay, so thank you for honoring the invite. Thank you for coming on the show. It means a whole lot. That's gonna be the end of the show. Thank you so very much, Daniel. God bless you.
Thank you for tuning in to this incredible episode. Your support means the world to us, and we truly value you. We look forward to having you join us for the next episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback is greatly appreciated.